Caught my wife of 11 years cheating on me with gym coach, and I know exactly when it started. Me, 44M, and my STBX, F39, been married for 11 years, no kids. We were a pretty chubby couple until 2 years ago when I had a blood test and it came out that I was prone to contracting diabetes, gout and hypertension. It really scared me and we both bit by bit started to have a very healthy life. I went from 117 to 85 kg and my wife, let's call her Jane, from 83 to 65 kg. We felt great and needless to say I never developed those diseases. We attended to a gym almost daily in the afternoon where AP worked as a coach. Let us call him Baldy. When my wife started getting in shape I noticed most guys turned to see her. I felt so proud of her. She is fairly busty and she has magnificent legs. Of course Baldy wasn't the exception. I notice Baldy likes to check women's butt. I've seen him doing it several times, and he likes to show off how ripped he is. When Jane and I were regulars at the gym I noticed she was enjoying the attention she got from men. Once, we were using the elliptical machines. In front of them there is a cable machine. Baldy took off his t-shirt and started doing crossovers. I turned to Jane with my face of, can you believe this guy? But she was staring at him and she wet her lips. I saw Baldy and I swear he was grinning. I felt crushed. I mean, I was getting in shape but I am not as muscular and fit as he is. When we were driving home, I made a comment about Baldy showing off and Jane said, really? I didn't notice. I told her, you were staring. She said, I don't remember. I must have been thinking about something else. I shrugged it and kept driving. But from there on I noticed they were talking more frequently at the gym. Some weeks later, Jane was doing squats using the Smith machine. Suddenly Baldy went to help her. Isn't he nice? He was grabbing her by the waist and I got angry. She finished the first set and I got there and told him in a not nice way, I got it from here. Baldy just similed and told me, no problem buddy. He calls everybody buddy, and walked off. Jane knows me very well and when she heard my angry tone, she said, my God, OP. I told her, we'll discuss this at home. At home drama blowed up. She called me immature and jealous. I told her I noticed he was trying to get into her pants. She said that she knows that but she would never cheat on me. I said then why she let him touch her and she said she didn't want to be rude. About an hour later arguing we agreed to change gym, so we went to another place to do exercise but Jane was resentful at me in the following months. Her argument was that I don't trust her. On the third month after we changed gym, a very good opportunity opened up in my job, but in the afternoon, we discussed it and I took it and we had to attend the gym at different hours. I went in the morning and Jane in the afternoon. This is when it all went south. Jane's resentment increased and we barely speak. I sent her messages telling her about my day, that I miss her, memes. But she rarely replied or just, yes, okay, same here, ha ha ha. I was very worried and proposed couple therapy. She said I was the one who needs therapy because I'm the one with trust issues. I agreed. I was so desperate to fix our marriage that I even thought it was all my fault. So the following year, 2022, I went to therapy but Jane's behavior didn't change. We weren't intimate anymore. She never was in the mood. I snooped to her phone but didn't find anything out of the ordinary. I looked into her car for a second phone, nothing. I checked her phone again to see her map history. It only showed me housework, house, gym, house. Whenever I tried to talk to her, she just said she feels that she's having a 40s phase, it'll pass. I never had any evidence of cheating so I continued working and worrying. We live in a condo. The security guard, a very cheerful man called Mr. P, greeted me. We chat a lot. He was touching his shoulder and told me yesterday he had to move a heavy sofa and he has some pain today. I was sympathetic and he dropped the bomb. Maybe you can arrange a meeting with your massagist. I told him, who? He said the guy who came yesterday to massage Mrs. Jane. It took me a second to process this. I told him, do you have a video of him? I think he noticed I was pale and hurried to show me. Guess who? Baldy, of course. He has come a few times to massage my wife. I took the day off and started investigating. I asked a coworker for his car and in the afternoon I followed Jane. She parked her car at the mall where the gym is, and there is Baldy waiting for her. They giggle and behave like a couple, kisses, hugs and I feel nearly to tear. They walk a couple of blocks and go into a residential area. I tried to follow them with my phone ready to record, but the guard stopped me and asked, can I help you? I just said, what a nice couple. Do you know them? He said he thinks they are newlyweds, but can't tell me anything else. I called Jane but never answered. I went to her car in the mall and wondered why that place doesn't show on the map. I dial again and I can hear her phone inside her car. That's why. I also found out Jane hasn't attended the gym in 8 months. I didn't know that the previous night was the last day I slept with Jane in the same bed. I returned the car and went home, and called my parents. Fortunately my dad answered and I told him everything. I was crying and he comforted me and told me to get evidence. Obviously my marriage is over, and I need all I can gather while he'll contact one of his friends who is an excellent divorce lawyer. Jane called me when saw the 2 missing calls. I just told her I was already at home and she told me I'm on my way from the gym. My butt is killing me. Yeah, I can guess. When she saw me she asked, "What happened? Why did you cry?" I don't know how but I was mentally focused. I smiled and told her I got the flu, that's why I left work early. Don't come near me. It might be the bug, I'll be tested tomorrow. I'll sleep in the spare room. She agreed. I cried silently and didn't sleep a wink. Nearly midnight I heard her giggling. I guess she's messaging Baldy, but I didn't find any evidence of contacting another man. Then it hit me, why didn't I see it earlier? I bet AP is disguised as one of her female coworkers. In the morning while Jane was in the shower I took her phone and created a session in my laptop and put her phone back in the same place. We both can unlock our phones. This assassin works while the phone is close to my laptop or in the same Wi-Fi account. Then I saw it, under a female name. The profile picture was a dumbbell. I entered and most of the conversations were deleted. I guess they use work words as code in case I snooped. Can you deliver the papers in my desk? I know she doesn't have a desk at work. Going to the meeting. Where are you? On the top of them, boss is in his office. He's clueless, pretty clever. I guess I am boss because I know her boss is a woman. Jane got out of the shower and saw me. You look worse. Why don't stay with your parents? I denied the idea, thinking of getting evidence. After Jane went out, I contacted my dad and gave me the name and number of the lawyer. I called him and explained everything. He told me the captions I took from my laptop are useless. They don't have any factual evidence since it's not AP's name and she was smart enough to leave pieces of conversation that looks pretty innocent. I can take pictures of them at the mall but she can argue they are just good fellas and I can't invade into the residential area without permission because it might get me into more trouble. At work I was in zombie mode, thinking how to get evidence. I might install secret cameras in my house but Baldy rarely goes to my home and Jane might find them, unless I'm out of the picture. I texted Jane and told her I'm positive of the bug and I'll stay at my parents' because I might need help. She liked the idea and told me she would miss me but she'll call me every day. When I hung up, I called my dad and my brother. When I got home she had already packed a suitcase for me. She was so eager of getting rid of me. I told her I'll take my laptop and then I checked her messages. Boss will be out of the office. Wanna come to my desk? She sent this message almost after I told her I was positive to the bug. Good, she bit. We didn't had dinner. No kisses. No hugs. I noticed her watching her watch twice. From the door I told her I'll miss you. I was expecting her to shut the door on my face, but she walked me to my car, and I was gone. My dad and brother were outside the building waiting for Baldy to appear. But he didn't showed up. After half an hour I thought, why did she walk me to my car? Of course. Because Baldy was already inside the building waiting, perhaps inside her car. It would be very suspicious if her massagist came at this hour. I came back, hurried to my house and entered silently. I heard music coming from the bedroom and the moaning. Next to the door there is a sofa. His and her clothes were on it. I put my phone to record and opened the bedroom door and there she was, my wife. The love of my life for 11 years in all four and Baldy behind her. I got a very good seconds of both of their faces when they saw me open the door. Jane screamed and covered herself with the blanket. Baldy went alpha male, immediately walking naked towards me. I took a shot of him doing raw my wife. He yelled aggressively at me, why don't go for a walk, buddy? I hit his throat with my hand opened. I saw this movement in the Mel Gibson movie Ransom. The next second Baldy was coughing and gasping, kneeling on the floor. I yelled, get out of my house, and kicked him out. I threw his clothes at him. When my dad, brother, and Mr. P were arriving to my house, I told them I'll take it from here and closed the door. Jane was still on the bed covering herself. She was trembling. I told her, I have never hurt you nor will I. Get dressed. I'll wait for you in the living room. While I was waiting, I sent the video to my lawyer and he answered, I'm sorry for you, but jackpot. A few minutes later Jane showed up. She couldn't see me in the eyes. I started recording the conversation. I asked why. She didn't answer. Was I such an awful husband to you? She started crying but didn't answer. Do you love him? She shaked her head but no words. I stood up and hit the table. Say something, Jane, damn it. She opened her eyes wide and started trembling again, like a puppy when is scared. I have never yelled at her before. I sat and talked calmly. My lawyer will contact you for the divorce. Get a lawyer. She finally spoke. We can fix this. Fix what? Our marriage was over since Baldy was on the picture and you choose him over me. It was a mistake. No, it wasn't. It was a choice. You chose and this is the consequence. What did you think would happen when I find out? Silence again. Go to your sisters and tell her the truth, or I will show her the video. She went to the bedroom and started packing. I followed her and watched. Since 2 days ago I was trying to convince myself my wife is long gone. The person who I shared my house with is not my wife, but seeing her, putting her clothes inside the suitcase neatly, with her gracious movements and those little things I love of her hit me hard. I went to the spare room and started ugly crying. I heard when she closed the main door. She picked her clothes that were on the sofa. She made the bed where I caught them and I dropped on the floor. So much later, I called my dad. He told me Baldy wanted to press charges, but Mr. P told him he didn't sign in, so he's trespassing. The condo can sue him. He dropped it and went out. My nosy brother pressed his ear on the door and my dad took him from the other ear to his car. I was exhausted. The previous days I didn't sleep well, so I almost passed out on the spare room. Next morning my phone had a lot of Jane's messages apologizing and asking for a second chance. I just blocked her. My SIL called me. Apparently Jane hasn't told her what happened, just that we're fighting. I guess it's good my FIL is not alive to see Jane's behavior. She was the youngest and his favorite. MIL has senile dementia. All this happened a week ago. Next week Jane is going to be served.